this video we are going to create an advanced WordPress theme. So this is the HTML. We are going to convert it into this WordPress. Now if you click on blog, now this thing is dynamic. This is a blog. The title, the description and the image is showing up fine. This whole thing is dynamic, and if you click on header, it has a different layout along with the widget I have added. If you click on about, so this is another section which has sidebar. It's a page. So this sidebar is also dynamic. Fine. The main focus is to create the blog because we have already covered the basic pages. Now if you click on a blog, you are seeing the whole page. Now if you wish to share a comment, you can also do that, and it is also dynamic. Now and if you fail to do anything, it is going to say you a message that please enter the email. Fine. Now your comment is viewable on your post. Fine. Now these are the topics we are going to cover. How to create pages in WordPress. So these are the pages. This is a home page which has different layout. Now you can see the about is another page and different layout. As I said, it has the section and the sidebar. In the home page there is no sidebar, but we have added 3 widgets. How to create post. So this is a post. You can see the Objective-C is a post. We're going to see how to create this in a dynamic way, how to add comments, which I have shown you right now, and different layout we say is a post format. So this is a post format. The first one is a side post, and the second one is link, and the third one is a gallery. Now you can see there is some little design, but in this course we look how to create a awesome design. But just to show you, I have created this. So this is a gallery, which is also a post. Show widget in sidebar. So we have a search section. So if I search the post Objective-C, we can see only the Objective-C post. So that means the search is also dynamic. Now if I click on now if I search for the iOS, we should get the post related to iOS. That is not working. Let's see why it is in this video. Not to worry about it. So if I click on hybrid, so it's a category. We are getting the category related post. We have 2 posts on the category hybrid. How to create a dynamic menu. Now you can see on the header as well as on the footer we have the dynamic menu. Implement search on website, which I have shown you right now. What is the use of search page and archive page? So if you click on uncategorized, so this is the archive page. So if you search something, you are getting a result, and this is from the search page. And I would show you how to write efficient code, non-repeating codes using the function. So let's install the WordPress, so which is the latest version at present, 5.5.1. I have already downloaded and copied it in my htaccess folder. I'm going to rename it. This is our project name, my website. So now I need to create a database for that. So we have to give the credentials, database name, username and the password. So we have to create the login details for signing into the dashboard. For that, it is asking for the site title, what site title you want for your website. Admin, I'm going to make the username and password the same. Now you will be able to log into the dashboard with the created credentials, admin and admin, which we have created just now. Now if you see into the themes, we have 3 default themes. Now we are going to create our new theme. So let's delete the old theme. You have to create a folder and you need to name it. So this is our theme name. My name is a theme name now. Fine. Now let me open this on my Visual Studio Code. So to see the theme, we need three things. The first one is index.php, the style.css, and a screenshot. So let me open the WP content. Inside the WP content, we have themes. So we have our folder. So inside that, I'm going to create a file, which I set right now, which is index.php. And then we need to create styles.css. And in the style.css, we need to create a comment. So that comment will give the description of your theme. I'll let you know in a minute what is the description of theme. So I'm going to give the theme name. So WordPress will identify your theme details based on this comment, the description of the theme, and then the author, which is myself, and you can add the version as well. Now if you see, just refresh it, you will able to see the theme. So for that, as I said, I'm going to download a screenshot image for our theme, which will be inside the you know the folder structure by now. So the name should be screenshot and the format should be png. Now if you refresh it, you would be able to see your theme. And now if you click on theme details, whatever you filled on the style.css, you can see it. Now let me activate it. So if you get into the dashboard, your index.php is going to load up. Now what I have done is I have pasted the static code. I'm linking the style sheet with the help of the function blog info. Inside the blog info, we need to pass style sheet directory. Fine. Now this is our index page. This is our index page. I just copy paste the whole section which is in the static file. You'll get the link, you'll get the code in the description. Now once everything is done, we are going to set the title and description so that we can make the static file as dynamic. So on the reading, we have to get into the general section. This is a title, and let me give a description for that. Now if you refresh it, it won't be visible. We have to pass a function for that. The same function you can see which we have passed for the style sheet. To get the title, name is what you need to pass. Now you can see what you have written on the title. You can see it on the title bar. Now just to show you, let me have this in our HTML on the header. So this is our logo name, which is equal to our title name. And to give the home URL, you need to pass the function home URL. So on the heading, we are passing the title. So on the small tag, I'm giving the description. You just have to pass a description for the blog info function. Now if you refresh, you can see the function. Sorry, now you can see the description and the title. This is the description. Now let's make this dynamic search. The first thing what you need to do is you need to add a form tag, and this form tag will have the action attribute, and you need to pass the link to the home page. So let me create it. So this I'm finding the container so that we can place our form tag. And you have to find the input field. So this is the input field, and in the input field we just need to add an attribute called name, and the name will have a value called s, simply s. It won't be useful right now because these data are static. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these files. Before separating the files, I would like to show the dashboard functions. Now you have to call the function wp footer. If you call the wp footer, you will see the top bar. Now if you refresh it, and on the header wp head. Now if you refresh it, on the top bar you will see a top bar, which is because of the wp footer. Fine. And let me give the margin to the nav bar so that we can see. Fine. So the next thing, we need to make the nav bar dynamic. So for that, I'm going to use a function called wp nav menu. So to activate the menu on the dashboard, we need to get into the functions.php. So this is a code. If you see, refresh it. At present, we have only sample page. So let me create some pages so that we can add on the menu. About us another page. Mm. So let's create another page. Frequently asked question. And another page called our title, our team. Sorry. And now we have 3 pages. So now the dashboard, in the dashboard we cannot see the menu. So for that we need to have a file called functions.php. We need to add a function, or you can say a hook. So this function is going to call is going to register the name menu. So this is a hook after theme setup. So the after theme setup will call our function. So in return, that function will activate the menu on the sidebar. Now you can see the menu is available. Click on menus. Now we are going to add our created pages. So this footer, and it is because of these words which I have typed on the function.php. I'm going to create a menu. Just add the 3 pages which we have created right now, and tick on the primary menu because we need the menu, because we have passed the primary theme location as primary for the index page. Now we have 3 pages which is dynamic. If you wish to add, you can add it to the bottom, your wish. I'm leaving it. The same code you have to copy paste it. That's it. Now we're going to create some category for the post. So you might be familiar how to create the category. I would be creating iOS, hybrid, Android, so that we can paste, so that we can create some relatable post and we can filter it by category. That's the reason why I'm doing it. If you click on add new category, you can see on the right hand side your category added can be visible, can be seen. Creating category is really important because we can filter it. That's where we can use the archive.php page. That's the reason I'm doing it. Fine. Now I'm going to create some post. I'm going to link this category, created category. Swift is ready. Let me create some lorem ipsum. Lorem have to type lorem and then the word count 50. So you get the word count 50. Now You have to paste the excerpt as well, don't forget that. The next post is going to be Objective C. So the category is going to be iOS, and Objective C is also going to be iOS. We have two posts. Likewise, I'm going to create some other posters, relatable post. Fine, we have some post here along with the linked category. Let me delete the old hello world post. Now we need a page that will show all the created post. So the index.php is the right one. So let's get into the index.php. A certain section is getting repeated again and again, so let me find it and remove it. So the card is getting repeated, so I need to have a while loop for this card. We don't need this pagination for now. So just between these card we are going to have a while loop, so that while loop will run until there is post left. So if there is no post, you will get the message called no post found. Again, I'm saying the source code is in the description. Now in place of title, I need to have a dynamic title. So for that we have a function called the title. The same way, for post we would be having the function called the excerpt. We have seen why I have added the excerpt field on the post while adding post. Now to link we need to add a function called permalink. Fine, the date has a function called the time, so we need to pass some argument to that. We'll see you. And now we have, this is a time, and now we have an author. The function for that is the author, and let's create another field for category, which we'll leave it for now. Now if you refresh it, you can see all the post. I think I have missed a semicolon on the line 84. Now if you refresh, you can see all the post. Leave the images, we'll be adding it, but now you can see the time, the author, and the category is visible, along with the excerpt and the title is visible. Now to get the proper time, let me add the PHP parameters. So month, time, and if you click on admin, you'll get all the pages related to admin. So don't worry about that, we'll be doing it on the archive. So at present it is not showing anything. So to show it, we need to add the permalink. Sorry, this time it's not permalink, this is the function get author post URL. If you click on admin, you should see all the admin related post. At present we have only one author, which is admin, so the post will be displayed. Now we'll create the category. So we have a function called get the category. Along with that some syntax. I'm adding the link to the category text as well. I think on line 90 again I missed the semicolon on the trim function. Fine, you can see the category is hybrid now. And again it's a link. The next thing we are going to cover is show image. To show the image, we need to add a function for on the functions.php. So just to show you, if you click on edit post, there is no section called post featured image. To make it available, functions.php is a function. We have already created a function, so we have to pass post thumbnails. That's it. Now if you refresh, you can see the featured image section. So let me upload some of the images for our created post. So likewise, let me add all the images on the left of post. So I have added everything. Now you can see this is a placeholder. So for that, you have to get into the place where the image is. We have to use the function. So before that, let me surround it to a div so that we can style it as our wish. Has post thumbnail is a function, and to see the post, and the post thumbnail is going to return the image HTML tag. As I already said, the post thumbnail function is going to return the HTML tag. And I think there's a spelling mistake on thumbnail. Has post thumbnail. It's not post. Now you can see the image is available. I'm going to get the created class, and inside we have an image. So let me fix the height and width. Let me give the width as 100%, and let me add the height as 300 pixel. And now if you refresh, this should work. And I think I have not linked the style.css on the header, so let me create a link tag. So to pass the style.css, we have a function called blog info. Inside the blog info, we need to pass a parameter called stylesheet underscore URL. Now if you refresh, the images are fixed with 100% and height 300 pixel. Fine. Now if you click on read more, you are getting redirect to the page which is single.php, which we are going to create it right now. But the format is the index.php. WordPress is taking the format from the index.php. So before that, let me separate the header and footer. The header file will have all the HTML head section, and the footer file will have the footer section. And to call it, we have a function called get header. The same way, we are going to copy the footer section, footer div, and going to paste into the photo.php, and then use the function to include it, which is get footer. So once it is done, you will not see any changes. Now let's work on the single.php. Now we are in the Swift page, but the format WordPress is taking is the index.php. So let me create a different format for that. Copy with the same thing, but in this section we don't need the read more button. And in place of excerpt, we need the content. So now you can see the whole content instead of just the summary of the text. So at the end we need the comment. Just below the card body, let us add the function called comments template, so that will give the default template for the comment. At present it is dynamic, you can use it, you can style as you want, but in the last section we'll see how to make the form as well. So we have shown the comment. Now let's create on the archive.php. So what is archive.php and search.php? If we click on search, it should work. It is not working. Let me see why. It is not clickable. It is because input type equal to, we should make the input type as button. And now if I click on iOS, you are seeing no post found. So let me create these two file first. Now if you click on hybrid, it is saying that it is not linked properly. I think we need to have the echo as well. Whenever we use the function with get as a prefix, we need to add the echo. I think we don't need the PHP. Let me remove it. Click on now again. Click on hybrid. Yeah, you can see all the posts related to hybrid. By default, it is taking the format of single.php, but we need a different format. So for that, I am creating a file called archive.php. So now if you click on the category, it will say hello. It is because it is loading from this archive.php. It is not taking from the single.php. Now it is taking from archive.php. And now let's design the archive.php page the same way as like the single.php. We just but here we don't need the content. We just need the excerpt. We don't need the image. We don't need the excerpt. We just need the title, and the a title should definitely link to a single.php, and we need the title and the author, the date, and the categories. Fine. Now I'm just adding the permalink so that we can link to the single.php. Now you can see in the archive it is showing, but on the heading we need a separate thing. So for the heading, WordPress have a different style. Now we don't see the heading. Now if you click on any category, our home is also not working. Let me see why. On the header.php, we have used home URL. Let me add echo to it. So I'll refresh it and click on, yeah, that's working. Now if you click on admin, you should get the admin related post. Again, admin is also not working. Let me see why. I think again I have not added the echo. I have added the echo. So what is the problem here? Yes, now it is working. All the post which admin has created, it is getting the format of archive.php. Fine, that's working. Now as I said, we have a different function. So we have a set of function. We are going to have the title as dynamic. So for that, WordPress has a specific function or you can see a list of code which would be fields. Let me paste it. If it is category, then you have to return this. If it is tag, if it is author, if it is date, if it is month, if it is year, if nothing is there, then just give the archive. So now we have clicked on the category, so we will get the title related to category. On line 31 we have missed the semicolon. No, there is extra bracket, I believe. So we have clicked on the category and you are saying, and we are getting the heading related to category. Fine. We click on admin. Again, I need to edit it for the single.php as well. Echo. Now if we click on admin, you will get the archive.php with the title related to it, related to admin. Fine. Now let's create a search. Search is similar to archive.php. Now if we click on search, search is not working. As I said, it is because input type equal to button. We have to make it input type equal to submit. By this time we have many places sidebar. That's the reason I'm replacing it on the 3 files. So let's make it input type submit. Now if we refresh, it will be working, and it is taking from the, and it will take from the archive.php. I don't know why it's not taking. Yeah, it is taking from the single.php. You can say it is not single.php. It is taking from the blog.php. Fine, no issues. Now it is taking the format from the blog index.php. So let's create a file called search.php. So this would be the, so if we search, this is going to get displayed on the screen. Now we can have our own template for the search.php. We don't need this header, just like on the archive. We don't need this. Instead, we just need a simple text called search result. Fine, search result, and that's working. And if you like to search for the Objective-C or Java, you can do it, and you will get the result from the search.php. Now we know the single.php and the index.php has the same code repeating. So for that, the repeating code I'm going to have a function called content.php. Not just index and single, the archive and the search also has the same code. So on the archive, the repeating code is the title, the category, and again the same. The title and category is getting repeated on the search.php. So we'll get the whole card class, which is inside while loop. Again, to access the data from the content.php, we would be having a function called get templates part. So now we have two set of files. The first set is archive and search, and the second set is search and single. Sorry, the second set is index and single. So for the first set I'm writing a function if it is search or if it is archive, then display this code, or else for else part, it is for the index and the single. And let me add the appropriate PHP for that so that we don't miss it. Fine. Now let me delete the repeating content from the archive.php, which is car body. And as I said, to access the content.php, we have a function for that, which is get template part. You have to pass the content name. Sorry, we have to pass the file name. And now if you refresh, there would be no change. Let me search Java. On line 40, I missed a semicolon, I believe. And fine. Now let's work on the index and single. Let's find the repeating block of code. The repeating block of code is inside the while loop. We have to paste it on the else part. And again, there is a condition. We'll look at it in a minute. The index.php has the excerpt and the single.php has the content. So now this is index.php. On the single.php, again inside the while loop, let me delete the repeating content and have the content from the content.php file. Now if you notice both the section on the single.php, now you are seeing the single.php. There's a div. Let me see what is that. I think I have not. You have to remove the card. Fine. Now what I said is the single.php is also going to show the excerpt content. Now if you reload, excerpt is simply the summary. We don't need the summary over there. We need the full content for the single. So for that, I'm going to use the if condition over here again. The function I'm going to use is single. If is single, if it is single, then what we need to show is we need to show the content. Else, if it is not single, then we need to show the excerpt. If you don't understand, feel free to pause it and rewind it what I said. If it is single, then show the content. If it is not single, then show the excerpt. Now you are seeing the single. Now let us add the comment section as well. Now if we refresh, and that is working as we needed. Now we have just seen the post. What if we need different post types? Like I want to display the gallery. So for that, I'm making available for the post types, which is aside, prime, gallery, and link. So these are the available post types, post formats which we can use. But in this video, I'm just using the three. And now you can see these three field on the post. On the sidebar, right hand sidebar, you can see the fields. Fine. Now I'm creating a folder. Now I'm creating a post that will be of a format called aside. Lowering up some text. Likewise, let me create some more post. Now this post will be link. The reason for this is I'm showing you are not just limited to add post. You can add links, you can add gallery, you can add some content with the help of aside. And you can show it on the blog.php on the blog section as a different way, instead of just showing your title, your image, and your excerpt content. That's the main goal here. Now I'm adding some images for the gallery. Make sure you are selected the gallery. Fine. We have created three posts. Now it's time to display these three posts on the index.php. We can see it automatically. But what we need is we want to style it a bit differently. So for that, what I'm going to do is I need to create some three pages, just like content.php. So the file name would be content hyphen aside, content hyphen gallery, and content hyphen link. So the L section is for index and single. Let me create some files, content hyphen aside. So the content hyphen aside is going to be a different format, not like the regular format, which will have title, which will have image, and which will have excerpt content and a read more link. So we can create just like a Facebook status post. If you wish to design, you can do it, but to show you in a simple way, I'm just doing it. So you need to pass another form parameter, which is get post format. Not only there, wherever available, you have to do it. So WordPress can identify that related post is in this particular page, which is either content, which is either aside, which is either gallery or link. Now let's design the content for aside. So now if you refresh it, you can see hello over there. It is because WordPress is fetching content hyphen aside page. So let's create article tag and let's have a simple text for that. So for now, just to identify whether WordPress is picking the right post type. Now this is link example, and now this is gallery example. Now if we refresh, WordPress is perfectly picking the right post type. Now we just have to create a format. As I said, to get the title, we have to use the title. To get the content, we have to use the content. The title and the content are the function names in WordPress. I just want to show the time, and in the card body I would be displaying the. So let's add these two section, the content. So let's create a card header and place the time and the title inside the card header. Now if you refresh, so the first format is ready. Likewise, you can give date as well. Now let's design the link post format. So just to keep bootstrap style, I'm just giving the background color as dark for the header and text white. And that is working. The same way, now this time for the link, we just have the title and the anchor tag. Get the content echo, and you can see you can use get content or you can use get the content. Whenever you are using the get prefix, you should use echo. Now this is another post format. Let's create another for the gallery. I'm just changing the header color. Fine. Now you can see your post type is standing out from the rest blog post. For if you wish to add the link, you can do it. For the link example, just to make you realize that this is the example of link, this is the example of aside. I'm going to surround the link to the anchor tag so that we can see anchor tag over here. Fine. Now we are going to create a pages as like we have about team and FAQ. We're going to change the layout. So to add the layout, let's add the home page as well. Drag it to the top. Now you can see home link on the navigation. So let's create the layout. The first one is page.php. Well, when you reload any page, the hello is going to show up because WordPress is going to find the page.php as a template for the pages. So just copy paste the whole thing. We just need the title, the sidebar, and the content. That's it. We don't need anything other than this. I have to paste it in a proper way. The page.php should be inside the theme Vishal folder. Page hyphen. I'm going to create a template for that, which is page hyphen regular. And as like for the style.css, we are going to give information about the template to the WordPress in the form of comment. This is regular layout, which will have sidebar at the right side. Let's create another function that will be non-regular layout. In that layout, the sidebar will be on the left side. So we can see these two files layout. If you click on new page, on the sidebar there would be a section called layout. Now you can see about, we are seeing both the about. Let me change the template name from about to regular and not regular. So now you can see, I think one file is not saved properly. Yeah, this one is not saved properly. Now what we need to do is, I'm just copy pasting it. I'm just going to have the sidebar from bottom to top for the non-regular layout. So this is a sidebar. I'm going to paste it just below the row so that we can have our sidebar on the left side. Now if you refresh, now you see on the FAQ, it's on the right side. Now get into the FAQ page and just give the layout to non-regular. Now as we know, the non-regular has the sidebar on the left side. If you see, the sidebar is on the left side for the FAQ, and this is how you can change the layout. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to have another layout for the home page. So before that, let me create the sidebar dynamic. So for that, to make the sidebar dynamic, we need to add an option for the appearance. Now if you see, we have just 4 options. Now let me get into the functions.php. Let me add another function that will be for the sidebar. Don't worry about the code is in the description. So now if you see the name strictly for sidebar, it is because I'll show you where it will be shown. So our sidebar will be covered with this card, and this card will also have a class. So in case if you want to give a sidebar a different class, you can do it. And the heading of the sidebar will be surrounded with h3. Now I think I have missed the semicolon as like previous time. And now you can see, instead of 4 options, now it's 5. You can see widget strictly for name. It is coming from the name attribute. Now let's add a category. And if you wish to add, you can add text. If you wish to add, you can add post. Let's add pages. And now on the sidebar, you have to make sure that you're calling the sidebar widget with the help of the created ID. So we know the sidebar is in the single, in the index, and in the archive and in the search. And also on the regular and non-regular layout. So the function is going to be the dynamic sidebar. So before that, we are going to check whether there is a sidebar or not. So the ID, we need to pass it as a parameter for the is sidebar, is active sidebar and dynamic sidebar. So this is ID I'm passing here. So as I said, wherever the sidebar is there, we have to replace it. We can also create another page called sidebar.php, and we can include it with the help of get template part, and we need to pass a sidebar as a parameter. We can also do it. Fine, that would be a repetition, that's not an issue. And finally single.php. And now if you refresh on the website, you can see your sidebar dynamic, which will have category and the pages, available category and available pages. So these are dynamic coming from the widget. Fine. Now we're going to create a new layout for the home page. So for that, we need to create a file called front page. Just like index.php, just like single.php, just like archive.php, just like search.php, form for front hyphen page.php is also a default file for WordPress. Whenever there is a home page, WordPress is going to check the file. So we don't have to create post. I'm sorry for that. I have mistakenly opened the post. And once we create the pages for blog and home, check the layout as it is not created yet. Home is available, but blog is not available because I have created it as a post. I have to make it as a page again. So let me delete the created blog on the post and let me create it on the page. Fine. Now on the settings and rating section, you can set which is home page and which is blog. If you save, WordPress will automatically find which is home, which is your preferred home page and which is your preferred. You have to get into the view all to add blog. arrange it. As we know, our front hyphen page is blank, so we won't see anything. So let's create it just like we have made it for the regular page and non-regular page. We don't need the sidebar for the front page, so let me remove it. I think I have placed the front.php outside somewhere. It should be inside the theme folder. Delete this and create it inside the theme folder. And now we don't need a sidebar, so let me remove it. So this whole section is sidebar, remove it. And again, we don't need the post as well. It's a page, it's not post. Fine. Now let's create a layout. Before that, let me fill some content for the home page. The title and the content. If you click on update, you can access it with the help of function the title and the content. You can see I have already surrounded this content with the div with class home content. Now this whole thing we have to add a class. That's the reason why I have surrounded it with a div with class home content. And we need to use a property called word break all. Fine, the content is very big. Let me remove some of the content. Paste the type, card body and card title, card header. Fine, the content is very huge. So likewise, I'm going to add some widget. So to initialize a widget, we need to get into functions.php. We have already created a function called init widget. Just copy paste it 3 more times so that we can use these 3 widget on the home page. Make sure to give the name for the widget and the ID for the widget. So on the widget section, let me delete or let me close which is not useful for now. So appearance widget, we should see 3 widget now. It is not visible. Let me see why. Yes, we can see it is visible now. I have given unique ID, don't forget that, or else you won't see anything. So after the card ends, I'm going to create a row, and that row will hold three columns, and each column will have the widget. If you remember, we have used is active sidebar function and a dynamic sidebar function to display the widget. The same I'm going to use it. Don't forget to change the ID. uh, the boxes are blank, so let me fill some of it. You can add anything which is shown here right now. Some lorem ipsum text, save it, repeat it for the other two boxes. Now if you see, you can see the widget, which is very huge. If you wish, you can edit it. Let me edit it and make it shorter. The final thing left is comment form. Different layout. Blog is also working with the different post types. Finally, we have to find where we have used comment template. The comment template is calling a file called comments.php. The comments.php is not there. Let me create it. Let me find comments template function. Somewhere is here, somewhere here. Yeah, it's here. This file is calling a file. This function is calling a file called comments.php, which we have not created it yet. Let me create it. And inside the comment.php, we need to pass some functions, which is wp list comments. As I said, this function is calling a file called comments.php. Let me create it. Inside the comments.php, we can modify this text box. You can get this function from the WordPress website. And you have to create another function for another function, which is comment form, which can be available from here. If I get into incognito mode, I should see three fields. No, it is not visible. Let me see why. I think it is because of the function name, I believe. Variable name I have created. No, it's not the variable name. Let me see. I think I have pasted the wrong code. So this is the right code. If you wish to change the style, you can do it as like we do. Surround it with a div and give and with the help of the div call the child elements. Fine, you can see now I have posted a comment. It is source code in the description. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening.